The Intuitive Wellness Cafe podcast is hosted by me, intuitive eating wellness coach Deanna Kozarov. My mission is to show women that health and wellness can be achieved without the pursuit of weight loss, counting calories, and spending hours in the gym punishing yourself. I am taking back health and wellness from diet culture and showing women that they don't have to succumb to diet culture standards to feel good in their body and find joy in life. I'll be coming on the podcast to talk about a variety of topics that will help you on your journey to food freedom, movement, and how to care for your body and life. It is my hope that by having this podcast, you will have the mental and emotional space freed up to enjoy life instead of constantly worrying and stressing over food and exercise, and live the life that you deserve. Let's get started. Welcome to the 9th episode of the Intuitive Wellness Cafe podcast. I hope you're well and good. In today's episode, I'm going to discuss how to create a morning routine intuitively. I have to say, the month of May has crept up on me quickly. I don't know about you, but I felt like it was just yesterday that it was January. So it's pretty wild to me that we're already in the month of May. And I'm looking at my calendar and it is so full for this month. I've got all these events that I have to attend to. My daughter's school is wrapping up for the school year, so I have to be volunteering over there for that. And yeah, it's a pretty full month here, pretty busy month for me here, which is why it's also important to have a morning routine, because we all have heard how a morning routine can help set the tone for the rest of the day. But wellness culture, however, has been so out of touch with reality and made it seem like it has to be some grand, fancy routine for hours that is like impossible to attain. So many factors take place of how to set up your morning routine and even how often you will do it. Maybe you work in the mornings and have a commute, which may mean having to get up earlier. Maybe you have kids and need to rush them off to school. I get it. But what if you approach morning routines as you do with intuitive eating and movement? What makes sense in the grand scheme of things in terms of your schedule, not Wellness Susie on Instagram? What if you just start with one habit and go from there? Maybe even change it up on a day-to-day basis. What if you remove the shoulds around a morning routine and set it up that feels good to you? I'm going to go into now how I set up my morning routine. I have to get my daughter to school by 7:30 a.m., so I try to wake up before that to get some of my routines in. And just a heads up, this is what works for me and not necessarily the only way to go about morning routines. I am simply talking about it for inspirational purposes and to just give you an idea of how I navigate my morning routine. And if you want to borrow my ideas, feel free to do so. But just wanted to just let you know, like, this doesn't mean that you have to do it exactly the way I'm doing it. This is just like one way to go about it that works for me. So my typical go-to morning routine consists of morning prayer. I wake up, do my morning prayer. I have a warm lemon water for the hydration effect, and maybe read or work on my business. I then make breakfast and take my daughter to school and then come back home. And then I may even get in some intuitive movement in, whether it's walking or a virtual bar class. And then I get some work in and take a break mid-morning to have my coffee. I'll either make it at home or I'll step out and walk to my local coffee shop to grab myself a coffee. Now, some days I don't do all these things. Some days I may do more than other days, but that is okay with me because I know so many factors come into play. When it comes to trying to do your morning routine, and if there are days where you can't get to all of them, maybe your kid is not feeling well, maybe didn't get enough sleep the night before, the weather even, and et cetera, et cetera. It's okay to give yourself compassion when things come up and you can't do all the things in your morning routine. I picked up the book Morning Miracle, which inspired me to make this episode, actually. And for those who have not heard of the book before, Morning Miracle is a book that guides people to take control of their life by waking up at 5 in the morning and establish a morning routine that will help set you up with success later on in the day and just like life in general. The author had some life-altering events that had prompted him to have a morning routine that he calls a morning miracle, and then wrote a book on it. Now, you don't necessarily have to wake up at exactly 5 a.m. to establish a morning routine, unless that is the time that works for you. I actually belong to the Morning Miracles community Facebook group. There's also a community Facebook group. It's a pretty large group too, very active. And I am amused that so many people in there will comment how they're so sad or bad that they didn't wake up exactly at 5 a.m. and are really approaching this morning miracle from like an all or nothing mindset. I especially see this with moms posting on there that have like newborns or small children, like not giving themselves full grace for not operating at 5 a.m. I mean, they're just like flipping out like, oh my gosh, like what am I going to do? And I'm always trying to put my view on it, like, just start over again the next day. Give yourself compassion. It's okay. It's okay if you don't do the morning miracle routine exactly like the book. This is where being intuitive with your morning routine comes in. You have to make it work for you. I mean, the Morning Miracle book, it's a good guide. It's a good book for like inspiration, but you have to take all these things with a grain of salt. Sometimes I go 2 weeks without getting any exercise in. If I didn't sleep enough the night before, or if I'm not feeling well, or if my kid's not feeling well, I might skip it. I mean, that's what I'm going to do. Like, I skip my lemon water often. I skip it many times. I don't make it a hard, fast rule. I despise how the term wellness has turned into this obsessive, toxic culture, and I'm going to do my best to take back the word wellness to mean an overall way to help you feel better in a way that works for you. This is part of it. This includes the morning routines that you establish on a daily basis. Wellness without obsession is my motto. Because the word wellness got really misconstrued by diet culture too. And, coaches like me who are approaching it the non-diet way, we are trying to take that word back so that people don't take that word and get really discouraged by it. Like I said, my morning routine, feel free to borrow the ideas that I have done and used, but I encourage you to create your own morning routine, tweak it and, make it into a routine that works best for you and that feels good to you. And give yourself compassion if you're not able to do all the things on your morning routine. Well, that is it from me this week. One last thing I want to mention, I currently have the capacity to coach 2 women in my one-to-one private coaching program, and we do all this by phone for 4 months. And if you're interested in wanting to have a peaceful, calm relationship with food and body movement and wellness, you can go ahead and apply to see if you would be a good fit for the program. I will link the application in the show notes, and I'm also going to provide the link to my coaching services from my website that has all the details, and that includes also the price too. The price is in there as well. I'm pretty transparent about that. So both will be in my show notes. So thanks again for listening, and don't forget to leave me a review and let anyone know about this podcast that you think would be interested. Bye for now.